Dear parent, welcome. I know some of you participated, especially the moms, you participated at this day's Say It, and I want to thank you for doing that. Some of you went further to get the free viewing. Again, I thank you for that. Just before I go on, I want to let you know or remind you, because we did mention it at Say It, but I want to remind you that Say It has now become an ebook, and it's available on Amazon. I encourage you to get it because, again, the whole idea of Say It is to continue to say the words over your children. And I'll tell you in a minute why that is critical. You have to continue to say the word, smear the word. I like to say it that way, smear the word over your children every morning before they leave or before you get into your day's activity. It is important to smear the word. And I mean, some people would say, well, I'll just quote the Bible over them, I'll just speak the Bible scriptures, direct scriptures over them, and that is good. However, this compilation, 31-day compilation, we've been on it for a long time, and there are special words that relate to what is going on today in the lives of children. And why do I say that? Because I have worked with children for upwards of 18 years. And I've seen the progression of things we dealt with, when I coached children 15 years ago, 12 years ago, different to what they're dealing with right now. Life was easier 12, 15 years ago, 18 years ago. Life was easier. It wasn't less complicated, but it was easier to deal with. But it's totally different now. And why is it different? It's different because of the different movements that are messing with the way information is received in the minds of our children. And I want to quickly mention the 4 main things that your children are struggling with today. Apart from social media, which is a big thing, because social media is a tool. It really is a tool to help propagate some of the things I'm going to be talking about right now. Now, the first thing your child is struggling with is sexuality. Determining who they are sexually. Do they want to be straight, or do they want to be homosexual, or do they want to be bisexual? A friend of mine was talking to me the other day, and he said he was at a meeting of professional coaches, and everybody was introducing themselves, and this guy came in and said he was he was trying to describe how his sexuality, and said he was sexually transient. He could today decide to come out as a woman, or the next day to come out as a man. Those are things your child would need to determine, and to determine how they relate with other children who have decided to embrace this philosophy that you can be whatever you want to be. All right. The second big thing that your child is dealing with is alcohol. Alcohol is being interpreted, because all about interpretation and suggestion, as something you take to reward yourself, to make yourself feel good. So if a child is not participating in that, it's either they don't know how to enjoy themselves, they don't know how to feel good. And there's more to be said about that, but I want to put that there and then talk about drugs. There's a plethora of drugs out there. And the way drugs is being propagated to your child, especially if your child is in this part of the world, in America, in the United Kingdom, anywhere in the West, is drugs help you relax. It helps you, some have even come to say it helps you study better. It takes the pressure off of you, right? And then the next thing I want to talk about, the 5, the next thing is the Antichrist movement. When we read in the Bible, and we all know that Antichrist is coming, and we get this imagination that Antichrist is coming as a person. I beg to disagree. And I beg to tell you that Antichrist is in our midst already. Antichrist is a movement. I just finished coaching a young woman now who said to me that there's just this hatred for Jesus amongst young people, that it just seems that they hate Jesus. They don't even know him, but they just hate him. The mere mention of Jesus makes these young people feel angered. There's an Antichrist out there, and it's a spirit. So let's stop looking for the Antichrist person, because the Antichrist is already in our midst. And our children are being bombarded with the philosophy of Antichrist. They are being discriminated against because they follow Jesus. That's an Antichrist spirit. How will your child deal with this? Yeah, how will they deal with that? Now, before I talk about the last thing that I wanted to say, I just want to ask you, is your child already abroad? Is your child already schooling in any of these Western nations? Or are you planning to send them out? Do you have a child that's already struggling with some of the things I mentioned already? Or are you concerned that they may be struggling with them and you're not aware? If this is you, if this question relates to you or relates to someone you know, send this video to them and let them get in touch with me. This is the first time I've ever done this. I've worked with children for many years. I've never, ever put out an advertisement. They've always come to me by referral. But I'm doing this for the very first time because there's a great need out there. Even I am impacted. And I taught my children since they were little. So it's nothing to do about the kind of parent you are. It's nothing to do with whether you took them to church or you didn't take them to church. Nothing to do with whether you had fellowship with them or not. There's a danger out there. Is your child protected? Does your child know who they really are in Christ before they leave home? I'm going to be running a 5-week program for children who are intending to study abroad. And I want to encourage you to consider enrolling your child for this program. I haven't even put it out. I want you to listen to this video. And if you are interested, send me a message, a direct message, and tell me the children that whether it's one child or 2 children, because I want to know if it's worth my time or not. Like I said, I've never done this. I want to know if it's worth my time or not. It's going to be a group program. But if you can afford to buy a one-on-one coaching program for your child, I encourage you to do that. Because in groups, some children will come out, some will not, some will hide. But for now, this is going to be a good group program. And it's going to be limited. I'm not taking more than 10 children at a time. So if this is of interest to you, it's going to be a 5-week coaching program, group coaching program. And should you want to proceed from there to a one-on-one, fine. If you want to do a one-on-one right now, fine. Don't pay $30,000, $40,000 to send your child to a school in America. And you cannot afford $5,000 for a coach. I'm telling you, it's not worth it. Coaching is not cheap, and my services are not cheap. But this is between life and death. If you hear it, if you can hear more than I'm saying, then send me a message and let me know how I can help. God bless you, and God bless our children. Thank you for listening. This is Coach Lara, and hope to hear from you soon.